Hello gamers, Pet here. Welcome to my Football Manager 2015 review and tutorial. I haven't done a review on Football Manager since 2013. However, I did play the 2014. I've been playing Football Manager since 2001 when it was called Championship Manager. Good times, good times. Anyway, this video is basically split into two parts. Then I'm going to talk about what's new in Football Manager 2015, or we will just call it Football Manager 15, I guess. And then we are going to talk about what this game really is, like a small tutorial, because I know that each year there are new young people who are hearing about this game and they, hey, a Football Manager, huh? And in case you're American, by football I actually mean soccer. So that's the real football. Anyway, um, I'm going to make it a little bit into a tutorial, I'll explain to you some stuff, and trust me, you don't really need to be a football fan to enjoy playing this game. Like, I'm only watching football whenever there is a World Cup or an European Cup, and occasionally Saturday or Sunday I put like one game, and I basically watch like 5 games per year. So I'm not really a huge football fan, but I'm a huge fan of video games, and especially this type of management games where I have to balance between the finances, raising my players, hoping for good youngsters, and basically managing a club, which is something that I love. I love to do this. Now, Football Manager, as I've said, is basically a football manager game where you play the role of a coach. Manager, coach. You are not the boss of the club. You can actually be fired. You have, the chairman, which is above you, who employed you and is giving you a salary, and you need to get results with the team. And every season they will tell you, hey, this is kind of what we expect from you, and you have to do it. And as I've said, you risk the chance of getting fired, where you will be able to, go to a new team. So in a way, it's a game about you managing other teams and not about a team being managed. Now that we got that out of the way, the role of a manager is basically you sign up the players, you put up the tactics, you kind of decide some financial aspects on where you spend the money, but not in the tycoon way. You don't set up the gate prices for the stadium, you don't build the stadium, you don't put the hamburger prices and other tycoon style games. You're purely the manager, and you will see what I mean once I get into the game. Now, if we click on new career, there are basically two modes. This is the Football Manager, which is the true experience. I will call it in a way classic, and this is the new Football Manager Classic, which actually got added in Football Manager 2013, where it's a simplified version of the Football Manager, where you don't handle all the things. This is made for people who still want to play the game but don't have that much time, because a season actually takes at least 12 hours. So you can actually sunk in a lot of hours into this game. Now we will go for the Football Manager Classic, and as long as you load the default database, basically you will be able to play with any team from those countries. And the great thing is that there are all the players and all the teams from those top leagues that are in the game, and not only that, but their stats in game are also similar to those in real life. So if you know a player who's really fast, he will be fast in game. And that's actually kind of something kind of nice. And there were some news that there were some coaches that were using this, to scout players. I'm not sure if they are true or not, but anyway, it's a little bit funny. So one of the first things that I'm actually going to show it, I'm going to just start a new slow game. I'm just going to load it because this is one of the new features that was added in Football Manager 2015. So basically this is the new management style that they've added into the game, and this is something actually kind of nice because it adds more customization to the game and the way you are as a manager. So for example, I really like defenders and goalkeepers, and I might actually want to put my points into defending or mental, and I will actually appear as a coach in game. So it's in a way it's nicer that I don't have to hire one extra coach. I can just be myself, the one that trains the player. And the same thing over here. You can change up the adaptability, the determination, player knowledge, which is actually kind of important, because whenever you start the game, you won't see that many players. And in this edition of Football Manager, scouting became much more important on the way you see the player attributes. And again, with man management and motivating, it's something that you might want to see. You can just click the eye icon. So for example, level of discipline affects on how likely a player is to bring their concerns to you. A strict head coach will find players that are less likely to bring up minor issues to them. And I actually didn't have enough points to put into a lot of level of discipline, and players came to me all the time with, why are you selling that player? Why are you doing that? Like, shut the hell up, I'm the coach. Right? So for the purposes of this review, I'm going to load my save with Norwich. If you are interested into seeing how I play the game, I actually started let's play Football Manager with Pet, managing Norwich, and as you can see, I'm actually in 2021. So yeah, the game actually progresses and new players get generated and things change. Some good teams might become worse in time. So I really love this aspect to see how things evolve. Once it's 2014, let's see what the hell can we do, right? So the first thing that you will notice is basically a new interface, which is actually a little bit nice. They've added a sidebar, but it's not only a sidebar like they said in the presentation video. It's actually a little bit more intuitive. For example, you have home, basically, which is your home home screen, where you can actually see a new important tab is basically the promises, because players come to you and you will promise them something, and if you don't respect your promise, they will actually be upset. So in a way, the man management aspect got a little bit more important right now. And of course you can see your profile and so on. Now you also have the inbox, which is the classic inbox. I'm not really, they improved it a little bit, but I'm not really that happy on how they've done it still. This was my problem always with the game. And the main reason is that you always see wall of text news. They've added a couple of pictures here, so that is not really the best example. But let's actually find. Let's see what the hell is here. Wall of text, 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 wall of text. Okay, they've added this new information, but then again, wall of text, wall of text, wall of text. So it's not really. This is an aspect that I would really love to see. Again, wall of text, wall of text, wall of text. Why can't they just revamp the whole news system so I can see the news better, so I can see the news, more important news? What happens, I just click space to advance, and then I just do something like this. I go up, I don't care about anything, only about my club, mainly because things are not really presented to me in a nice way. Now, the squad is here. So in the past, they used a lot of drop downs. The drop downs are still here, but as you can see, I know that if I click this button, I'm going to be taken to the squad where I can see the players, I can see the depth chart, I can see the players on loan. Everything is here. I don't have to go into an extra layer of level of detail, right? So that's it. This is a player. This is a region player, by the way, guys. You can see this by the fact that the face has been generated. This is a new player that I got. You can see his stats here, and again, all the information is beautifully presented into this screen, all the relevant information. And then of course I do have some drop downs, but they are over here. And one thing that I don't like is the way that I have to scout the players. Basically, let's go to this player. Let's say that I want to scout it. And I have to go to reports, assign scout, and then another drop down. And since they improved the scouting, now you can actually scout the player for a number of months, so you will get more exact more exact results, right? So look how many drops down I have, and sometimes I do something like this, and then, oh shit, and I have to do it again, and I'm careful, and then I have to do it again. Like, still, guys, come on, do it better. Now, again, as I've said, the whole interface is a little bit more. It's better with this sidebar. I know that if I go to competition, I see all the competition I'm currently in. If I click here, I will be presented with the Barclays Premier League interface. If I click on overview and I click on stages, for example, I see the old school stages, basically the whole positions by anyway. Oh, and it's season preview is basically here. I can see all the details, and again, it's cute and it's nice. Another thing that they've added are basically interviews. You know, if you are a good coach, other clubs will notice you, and sometimes they will offer you an interview which might lead to a job. That's something new. And also they've also added some new questions with media, and they also have added an interview to the tunnel, which is something that they've done pretty often on television. But of course, this is something that I personally don't enjoy, mainly because I always see the same freaking questions. And when you play Football Manager for a shitload of hours, I'm kind of tired to be asked the same questions on this. The only difference is that there is another team name or another player. I don't care about it. It's something that I really deactivate. It's something that I really want to see improved. I was a little bit excited when they've announced that there are new questions in, but then I saw the old questions those are still in again, and I was like, yeah, I don't care. Matches can be loses. The matches can be won and lose in a second. What are your like? Why does it matter? Small improvement is basically the faster scout. Let's say Messi, I can just click on top right, Norwich, enter, and bam, I see a search. You don't have to go again on those screens. Small change, good change. Another thing that have improved a lot, and I'm really, really happy that they've improved, is basically scouting. Scouting always used to be kind of simple and boring. I mean, you had to have your scouts so you can send them. But basically, what they did right now, in a way, they made it. I'm not going to say realistic, but they made it more important. Because if you consider real life, you don't really know exactly that player has 18 dribbling skill. It's something what's the scale? Yeah, 18 dribbling, right? Well, what does that mean in real life? So basically right now you really need to plan ahead the way you scout players, especially once you have a couple of players. You won't be able to know exactly the player only if you invest more months. So basically, I have this player. I've already scouted him a bit. As you see, it's a region. And if I go to assign scout, you can see that I can scout him for a number of months. So if I scout him for 3 months, I will probably know everything. I mean, for sure, I will know everything about the player. In the past, all you had to do is scout the player for 3 matches, and you knew everything. Right? So right now, you really need to plan ahead the way you do it. So if I click on reports, this is everything I know about the player. Knowledge level 47%. There are stuff I don't know about this player, and if I click over here, you see that I don't know if he's injury prone. I don't know what his strongest attribute. I don't know what his weakest attribute is. I don't know if he's consistent or not. These are all important things that you want to consider when you are signing a new player, and this is something that you really need to take into consideration when you do a signing. As I've said, in the past it was simply click, you know everything. Okay, this is the most important player. And right now, since I haven't planned things since I haven't planned things ahead, there were times where I didn't really know who to sign. I mean, they were so close. Who would I sign? This guy or this guy? So as I've said again, this is something that's really nice. Even when you search for players, you can just these are our clone players. These are the scouters player I have. And I can reset everything, and you see this dude has a 4-star. And the another thing that they've added is basically the black stars, which mean that this dude might have another star, but the scout needs to know more about him. Again, if I click this dude, 63%, I need to scout this dude more. Yeah, I can sign him like this. I still see his stats, which is good. But hey, what if he's injury prone? I don't want to sign a player who's injury prone because he's going to spend the time injured a lot. I remember Mattia Destro in Football Manager 2013. So this is something kind of great. Again, I am repeating myself, but the scouting is really great right now. You can see these are the current assignment. These are the queue. And in the past, a lot of times I was sending the scout into a country and he was instantly coming back, hey, due to my knowledge of that country, I know everything. These are the players. Dude, I don't give a fuck about those 3 players. Go scout the whole country. I want to see the weak players. I want to see the strong players. I was giving him exactly instructions. Don't limit yourself. Go crazy. The same thing happened. Now they actually go. Now I'm actually always looking. You see, 10 out of 10 scouts are on assignments, and I kind of want more scouts because a queue gets generated. You see, and I want to have all the information about all the players I'm interested as fast as possible. But again, the skill of the scout is actually coming into consideration. So this is, again, I'm repeating myself, something that I really love about Football Manager 2015. There were also a couple of new player roles. They've added roaming playmaker, Raumbeter. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's in German. It's basically this thing. And they've added inverted wingbacks and a wide playmaker. They've also added about a couple of preferred moves, and it's basically penalty box player and likes to throw the ball long to start counterattacks, and that's something that appeals to goalkeepers. Let's go to Germany actually, because I do want to see if Neuer has that, because Neuer is known to be a player that does that a lot. I've seen some okay. I do need to scout him actually. Yep, I do have some information, but I don't know everything. Anyway, this was something that will really work on Neuer, because he really likes to throw the ball really fast and really good, and you saw that his skill was basically 19 at throwing. And another thing that they've improved is basically the finances. In the past, now the game actually knows to calculate the wage for your next season. It takes into consideration all the percentages of player rise salary, because hey, that's what it happens when you sign a contract. You can sign a player for 5% extra wage, so he knows how to calculate that. And also all this UEFA and FIFA new finance regulation, they are into place and they are into the game. So this is kind of the overall of the game. As I said, I really like the improvement. I really like this Football Manager, and surprisingly, the bugs are not really that. I don't really remember of a bug that really hit me, which is a good thing. I mean, in Football Manager 13, I still remember the problem with the wingbacks. In Football Manager 2015, I don't really remember anything, so that's a good thing. And anyway, I'm doing this recording in January. Basically, the game has been out for 2 months, and they kind of fixed it, a lot of early bugs, so I'm happy with it. Now, switching to a tutorial mode a little bit. Whenever you are getting whenever you are starting a game, you will see, you will have a list of players, basically goalkeeper, defenders, and so on. Basically, let's take for example Gino Peruzzi. He's a defender, right? You can see these are the positions where he can play, and these are his stats. And the stats are kind of obvious. And in case you want, a player tactical wise, a player, even that a defender can also have different type of roles, even if he's a defender. Same thing happens with a striker. A striker can be a poacher, which will actually play at the limit of offside, and he will try to get off the ball to catch the ball using his speed, and then he will shoot. Or they can play as a false nine, or as a deep lying forward that will actually come to the midfield and take the ball. There are a lot of roles like that, and you can see them over here. And you can read more about them over here just by selecting. So even if you don't know a lot about football, it's actually in a way pretty easy to catch things up. And again, if you read more about the game, you will see more about the tactics and about things that you shouldn't do. So for example, if you want to retain possession and play a short pass type of football, you don't play short passing with a high tempo. It doesn't really work that well. So anyway, there are a lot of stuff like that. So let's talk a little bit about players. You see, you have this is the scout is telling me that this is the best role for this player is as a defender, right? Or I can select it as a defender, a central defender. And if I do this, you see the game will automatically select the best stat, the most important stats for this player. So of course for defender, the tackling is the most important, then the marking, then the heading, and then of course aggression, anticipation, bravery, concentration, decision, determination, positioning, strength, and jumping reach. Again, all those stuff are kind of obvious. Vision is basically something that's pretty important for it. This is a skill that used to be called creativity. Now it's called vision. And it's also useful for creative midfielders. They need to have vision to see where to pass the ball. And basically, it's kind of obvious. First of all, a player needs to have good decision, so he will make the best decision. Then he will need to, for example, I'm taking the decision to pass the ball, and then to who do I pass the ball? And then the vision will come into place. And then when he will finally do the pass, then passing will come into consideration. So it's a lot of formulas and equations to finally do this, and I do believe that the engine is kind of complex. And something that I haven't mentioned, but of course it's kind of obvious, the match engine got improved a little bit again, which is good, but I don't really care about the visual match engine, the 3D. And I'm going to actually show you how the match engine looks. Let's actually load this game with Hull that I won with 2-0, and I'm going to show you the goal. I even missed a penalty. So after a short loading screen, I'm using, this is the 2D engine. I always play with the 2D engine because I can see the players better. Let's see the goal. Redmond is there. Redmond is passing to Meyer, and boof. Pretty easy and cute goal. So let's actually change it to director camera, and now the 3D mode is going to get engaged. And you will see that they have new animation. They have better textures. They made the stages a little bit better. So in a way, it is nicer. But again, I don't really think about it because it's still, ages away from an engine like FIFA, and and we don't really care about this so much. I know that some of you who are not used on playing Football Manager, we actually like to see the things in 2D, and we play it for the managing part and not the 3D engine part. But again, it's really nice that we have this 3D engine, because 10 years ago in Championship Manager 4 we finally had the 2D engine added, from above. But years ago, all we had was text, and we had to read text, and this dude is passing to this dude. And in my mind, I had to imagine how that dude is passing to that dude. So anyway, kind of funny. We saw 2 goals by Michael Meyer, who's also region. And you see, he's kind of slacking when it comes to training. Training also got a little bit improved. Actually, the whole package when it comes to the game gets a little bit improved each time. However, something that besides the wall of text news, something that I still don't really like is basically the way youths get generated and the new players. It's really boring. In the past, it used to be something that I got really excited in the hopes that I will get a new star. But basically, you know how it is. Let's look at the under 18 players. Let's sort everything by assistant reports and sort by potential. You see, I see all those players. Gary Sinclair. This dude has his whole future ahead of him. He still thinks that he's going to make it. I mean, he's only 16. He might actually do something with his life as a football player, right? Wrong. You know why it's wrong? Because I can already see his potential, and I know that he's crap, and I know that once he will reach the age of 19 and his contract is going to expire, he's going to work in Walmart or whatever. It's really not that exciting. Why is this exciting? I would love a way to do not, if we think about real life when it comes to finding youngsters, of course, there are players who, this is an anti-talent. He doesn't have the potential. I'm not going to sign him up, okay? Fair enough. But players in real life still are signing up some players because they do have some potential. Of course, some players turn out to be Messi. Some players turn out to be just a decent Premier League player. But when you see everything from now on, right in the start, that a player is 2.5 stars, it really gets all the fun from it. I would love something to be like, hey, this dude is good with dribbling. Maybe not even see the stats for young players. See something general, like good dribble or good passer, and then great vision or something, and then I will be like, hey, this dude, I should maybe train him more at that. And then when he reaches age of 17 or 18, and then boof, his stats will be shown like this, for example, and be like, hey, nice, oh my god, this dude is actually good, or this dude is actually still decent, I could still sell it. It will be far more better than the current system, and I do hope that they will improve this later on. So the tutorial was kind of short in a way because the video has been going a lot, but if you have questions and you want to learn the game, try to watch my Football Manager series or just write in the comments below, because I will be happy to tell you stuff in general. And thank you for watching this video. I think it was a bit longer than I anticipated, so sorry for that, but anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Goodbye.